And we are back. We're back.
We're
Long
back.
hiatus, however you want to say it.
Yes.
We were just busy, lazy, old, tired.
The last two usually I think is the perfect example of us, old and tired.
Exactly. But we are back, kind of a brand new look, brand new name, Fandom Blast. Um, and looking to expand on a multiverse of fandoms. Pretty cool. And what we're doing here with this series is we like to consider ourselves the casual fan. So we're not going to be up here. Yeah. So we're nerds and fans and geeks, but we're not experts or we're not gatekeepers or any of that kind of thing. We're actually quite dumb. We just like cool things.
We just like cool things. And we like to talk about cool things too, right? So again, it doesn't mean our opinions are right. Just these are our opinions, and we're allowed to have our opinions. It's like everybody else is allowed to have their opinions. But yes,
even though we are probably right.
Probably, more than likely.
Probably, especially with something like this, where we could say, Todd, we might be experts at He-Man.
You know what? I would say I gotta be a strong candidate. I think for expertise in Master of the Universe, possibly, not the top, but I'm in the top 100. I think possibly.
Yeah, because we can be one of those people that says, you know what, I was a fan of He-Man before it became cool again, or some stupid thing like that.
Well, as you know, as we talked many times over the years, to me, there's no better toy villain than Skeletor. Not everybody can see, but over here on my wall, I probably have 23 different Skeletors. If I see a Skeletor, I purchase them. I went even bought all these little miniature Skeletors here. There's Skeletor, there's Skelegod right here, right? So I have a friend of mine keeps buying me Lego Skeletors. Right, so when it comes to Skeletor,
So awesome.
I'm a huge fan. I got every Skeletor action figure I can possibly find. So yeah, so I would say I'm a Skeletor huge fan.
You're a Skelebro. How about we say that?
Skelebro, exactly. And for me, like growing up
Skelebro.
as a because what Master Universe came out in 1982, I believe it was, and
Yeah.
when that came out, that was my favorite. Like better than Transformers, bigger than Star Wars. It was my favorite toy line of all time, just because I thought, again, we talked about this before, I'm a big villain fan. If the villains aren't good, I'm not happy. And I think that Master Universe has the best villains designs out there by far.
It was a lot of fun. And just so everyone knows, that is going to be the topic for tonight. We're going to be talking about the Masters of the Universe 2026 movie.
In theaters now.
In theaters now. Still in theaters. Get out there. God only knows they could use the help. I was looking at the totals. They're at, I think it was, what are they at? They're at 62 million worldwide sales on a $200 million budget before marketing. So they're looking at, to break even 450 they should be making. But on the side note, I guess Amazon says they're quite happy with everything and looking forward to new projects in the future. But I mean,
yeah, I saw that today. I saw that today too. I thought I saw they greenlit a sequel. That's what I thought I saw somewhere today, but I don't know how true it is or how factual it is. But again, we're the casual podcasters, right? So
the casual, that's right. Hey, and also I want to point this out too. It is Friday, and we want to wish everyone a happy Fisto Friday.
Fisto Friday.
So I love this. Do you know what James was telling me? He says that I should cosplay at like a fan expo as this guy.
I think that would work out very well for you. Put a little red dye in your hair, and I think it'd be good to go.
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Mechanic in the movie, the actor is 6'6" in real life.
Is he really?
He really is. And I didn't get the photos, but the behind the scenes, he's standing with who's he standing with? He's standing with it was the Fisto actor who's 6'2", and you could tell the difference, right? And 6'6", I always like going to IMDb and looking at the height of
Yeah,
celebrities for some reason. I
that's
just really
it.
like that.
I never thought of looking at the height of celebrities, but I guess that's one thing you could look at.
Do you know why I started doing that? When I first started going to fan expos like 100 years ago in Toronto, and it was really small, you could breathe, it didn't smell terrible, and it was quite homey and awesome. Now you get like 50,000 people in a weekend. It's crazy. But um I noticed how short most of the celebrities were. It blew me away. Like uh Roddy Rowdy Piper was there one time. I was like, oh wow. So I was just walking by where he was sitting, and he was standing up getting pictures with people. This is when it wasn't a big thing to go to another room to get pictures. And he was so small
Oh,
from
really?
what I thought he would be. Pro wrestler. He's fighting Hulk Hogan, and I mean, I'm sure he'd kick my ass and all that, but I was just shocked. And especially with a lot of the women actors, they were so tiny.
Yeah. Well, you get the average height of a woman, what, 5'6", right? So
Yeah.
like so you get the tall ones every now and then, but like my wife is really short, and most of the women I've worked with over my career are really short. I'm not tall, but I'm 5'11", so I'm, on a good day 6 feet, and I tower over all the women I've worked with. And I've been in the industry for 30 years, and it's very rare. I've had a couple women I've worked with where they're close to being my height. So again,
Hmm.
that's not surprising to me at all that a lot of women are short. But again, sometimes they have to play these big iconic characters, and they're like starting out with someone who's 5'5",
Well, you look at
right?
some of
So
the biggest actors out there. Tom Cruise is what? He's like
like
five
five
six,
six.
5'7", something like that.
Isn't Stallone like 5'5" or 5'6" too? He's like really short.
I know. So it makes it
And
difficult when they're trying to get actors to work with them.
yeah, you got like
You know,
Dolph Lundgren, who's like what 6'3", and you have I'm a 3'2", and it's like I think they had to boost him up a couple of shots, right? So
I remember watching an interview. I will get back on topic, but watching Stallone talk about Dolph Lundgren when he hired him to do the Rocky movie, and he was saying some really nice things about him. He was saying it's not fair. He's kind of a freak of nature, right? He's got like a degree and a scholarship from MIT in chemical engineering. Um, he looks like he does, right? All the square jaws features. He's tall. He's a champion kickboxer. He does all this stuff. And he was like, it's not fair. It's all in one package, right? So he's super smart. So he just kind of got into acting, but he had a scholarship at MIT. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of funny, and it was good. There'll be some spoilers in this talk, but it was good to see him in some kind of capacity in this movie, and with the promotion of the film, right? Like handing the sword to the new guy, and you know, it was all in good fun.
yeah, that's well, we're getting to we'll wait till we get into the movie, but yeah, like I saw a lot of promotions with Dolph Lundgren and the new actor, whatever. I should know his name, but I don't. Lots of the it's in social media and stuff for passing the sword, or doing a lot of things around the sword. I was actually I shouldn't have been surprised, but when I saw him, I was very surprised he was in it for some reason. I don't know why. It shocked me, but it was cool to see him in the film.
Yeah, yeah. You have to wonder, like, when they do something new, if they're going to embrace the old. Like, we saw how they kind of did that with Star Wars. So, you know,
Yeah.
you wonder if they're going to be nice with handing off a torch. And I don't think that Dolph Lundgren even cares. Like, he's not like, I'm He-Man and this isn't right. And he doesn't care about any of that.
No, and the movie wasn't a huge blockbuster either, right? It did okay, and it got no sequel, right? It was a campy kind of movie, so it's not iconic, like So the fact they're still paying tribute to what the work he's done in the past, I think is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. So, before we get on to that, just want to remind everyone to go to fandomblast.com, check it out. And actually, there is a review, a non-spoiler, kind of just some basic thoughts I had about the movie after I watched it. It was actually after the second time that I watched it, right? So I went um, Friday night with Jeremy, who couldn't make it tonight. and then I went the next day, Saturday, with my youngest.
Saturday,
I
yeah.
kind of I kind of last seconded. I went at the 10 o'clock movie at night. Ooh, I was you could tell I was so tired by the time we got home. But
I bet.
yeah,
I went
so
with my son
yeah,
too. So I went with my son who knows very little about math. All he knows about Master Universe is from my action figures on the wall because we share this office space, right? So he knows I like
yeah,
Skeletor, he knows I like Master Universe, but he didn't really know a lot of the story behind it. So it was interesting to get his take on what he thought of the film.
yeah. It's really interesting, and we were talking about this before we went live a little bit. And I said, Todd, with kind of the reception, like the people that are seeing it and reviewing the movie, they are liking it. But the average age of the moviegoer was 35 and above,
Well,
and there
really?
was very little young people. So, I said to Todd, do you think that him and I are at that age in our fandom, like our fathers were when everyone stopped liking cowboys? And now our heroes are at this point, right? Or like serials like Buck Rogers in, the 50s and 60s. Like no one's into cowboys. And, with because there was tons of marketing out there. So there's no way of saying that kids or people didn't know about this movie. But has He-Man become a niche?
It's
That's
a
the
really good
question.
question. That's a really good question, right? I think it's just, if there's no familiarity with it, sort of thing, maybe people just don't know. But again, I think with the fact that it was put out by MGM, which is owned by Prime, I think it'll get a good run in Prime. Like a lot of
Mhm.
movies back in the 80s and 90s didn't do very well at the box office, but they did fantastic. The Thing did terrible at
Mhm.
the box office, but did amazing on home video, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
Live, another one, didn't do good at the box office, but did really, really well when it was released, right? So a lot of movies have that where they don't do well at first, but then they find a second run and fandom through the video release. So I think if people don't know who it is, I think when it comes out, they'll probably possibly give it a chance. So that's why I think maybe the people are happy with what they're seeing so far. The talk is overall really positive that I've seen.
Mhm.
I know one guy I know who said it's like, oh, it's made for 10-year-olds, but you know, my
Mhm.
son again went in there not knowing anything but anything, really enjoyed the movie.
Mhm. Mhm.
So again, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those people who know nothing about the IP, but go in and watch the movie and have a good time. Again, the last time we actually did a podcast, we were talking. The trailer was just released for this movie, and
Just yeah.
and you remember what we said? We said we just hope it's good, right? We just kept saying hope it's good. So I really went into this movie, Steve, with zero expectations. Like I just except for I
Yeah.
hope it's good,
Yeah.
right? That's all I want. I wanted to see a good effort put into it, sort of thing, right? And uh, again, with not having expectations, I went in and it exceeded all my expectations, like
Mhm.
all of them. Like
Yeah.
I was very, very pleased with the results that I saw on screen, and I was very entertained. And we'll go more deep depth about everything. But yeah, that's my first reaction was I was very, very happy that our wish of just being good, I thought was achieved.
Yeah. And that seems to be um kind of the average out there. Everyone says even people who aren't fans, who were too young or kind of too
Not
old.
born
Yeah.
or not even born.
And where they say they just went in, they didn't care about the lore or anything, and it was a fun movie, and and they had a, a great time. Um, uh, and I did. I mean, I went and saw it the second time, and it was just as good. Um, my opinions didn't kind of change on it and stuff. We'll get into it. There's as a casual fan, great movie. I can understand where people that are like their whole life is He-Man and Masters of the Universe, where they might have problems. Like for me, I'll just say right away before we even get into it, the biggest problem I have is when they try to tie Earth into anything. Right? It's to me, it's like what was the reason? I know what the reason is. It's because they're trying to narrate without narrating, right? So if it's like Earth and he's learning, then we're learning instead of trying to introduce it, with great writers telling a story to introduce the world of He-Man. So they kind of bring that earth into it. I get that. But I just remember 20 plus years ago when they were talking about doing a live action movie, they wanted to, well, after the 87, right? It was long after that. They said, oh, we're going to do another one, but it's going to take place on Earth again. And it was like, no, don't do that.
Well, it's cheaper, right? We got to think, for production values, right? Or set, it's so much cheaper to do that way, right? Like this one, I thought works really well because the previous one, the '80s film, there was no He-Man's parents. It was no Prince Adam, right? They got rid of all that storyline, right? They kind of made their own little storyline concept, maybe more from the original comic book series before the cartoon came out, right? Where this one, at least this one is established. We all know, if you watch the '80s cartoon, no spoilers here, it's been out for decades, that Prince Adam's mom was an Earthling who was an astronaut who crashed on Eternia, and she made that her home, right? So again, at least that tie's established. It wasn't made up for the movie. It wasn't. It's something that's been it's part of continuity, right? So we all know that. So it wasn't a surprise. Even like the 2002 series had that kind of. Maybe I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty sure it had that kind of tie into the mom was from Earth too, right? So again, to me, that wasn't a stretch. Again, it wasn't that long, and I thought at least they made it work, sort of thing. Again, I found the Earth stuff really entertaining. Like, the fact that he works for HR, and like I think you posted something. Maybe you posted something on your fandom page, was the fact that the real villain in the movie wasn't Skeletor, it was the HR manager.
Oh, that's right. Oh, geez, I had it here a minute ago.
I thought it was hilarious because again, she's so nice, but at the same time, so mean,
so evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Crap. I thought I had that picture. The meme. Darn it. Yeah,
well,
that actor, she did that so well.
So good.
I would compare her to the, like in Harry Potter, remember the pink lady, the teacher?
Yep.
I mean, Stephen King said she was the scariest villain in all of literature, is what he said. Stephen King said that. And I compare
about
her
the Harry Potter lady, right? Yeah. She was. It was again. She's happy. She's smiling, but at the same time, she's not happy, right? You're like, what's going on here? But again, very entertaining. Yeah, very HR, right? I really enjoyed that. Again, I enjoyed the Earth parts. I enjoyed, him looking for the sword. Again, it wasn't what I expected from the trailers. Again, but I liked how they did it. I thought it was well done. I just the fact that he stole the sword from the comic shop was great.
Yeah, that was wild. So why don't we do this? So the whole story is Eternias, or Eternos, that's the city's name, the capital, is surprise attack by Skeletor, and Adam escapes with the sword of power into a place that he would be safe, right? His mom says, send him to my world, but he loses the sword. It takes him 15 years to find the sword. And, when he gets it, it kind of activates where Tila knows where to come to Earth to find him. And I mean, it's a really good beginning, because you see, Adam as a kid, and he's training, and you kind of see, I wish they did more of that, right? Where you get to see, because I always thought that Eternia and that whole universe, all the masters were so big and buff, and they were fighting, and everything was so warrior centric. And I kind of like that. And I just wish, like, if you look at the 2002 series, which everyone should go watch, it's on Prime right now.
It's so good.
So good. Adam was kind of a little dork. He wasn't as dedicated, but he still had skills because he's still in that universe. And when he acted dumb and stupid a lot, it was because he was trying to cover the fact up that he was He-Man. So, he was like, oh, I'm lazy and I'm going to go hide. But meanwhile, he was turning into He-Man. I wish they would have taken the 2002 series as kind of a an inspiration for this movie. I mean, the movie is fine, but I think Todd's getting sick of me talking about how great the 2002 series is because he knows, and all I do is talk about it all the time. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean, like, what are your? So I know you like the whole Earth part. I didn't mind it. It was really funny. The HR is so realistic.
I didn't find it was that long either. It wasn't like half the movie on Earth, right? I thought they did a
Right.
really good job. I know you're talking about the training stuff. They showed the gym thing. That's what you brought on Dolph Lundgren, which is great. I don't think they lasted too long. They showed the fact that he wasn't happy. That obviously he has a destiny. That he believes in something that no one else thinks he's crazy, sort of thing, right? So the fact that I like the fact that he didn't forget who he was. He knew who he was, right? So it's all about trying to find that sword to get back because he knows he has a mission to do. Uh, and I just like again, it wasn't too long, so I kind of
Mhm.
like that. Um,
Right.
again, and it just didn't dwell on it. And I like the fact that when he was on Earth, it looks so much different on Earth than it is on Eternia too, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
like dark, dingy on Eternia because it's ruled by Skeletor, right? It just looks always dark and gray and just dirty and dingy. Where Earth, everything was pretty, right? But again, one thing I really love is the fact that when Beastman makes his appearance and like how thrilled I was to see him and how good he looked. Like he looked like my son was going like he's like going that's like some of the best animation he's seen in a movie. He thought it looked amazing. And just the fact that he looked so savage. I like the fact he had the white painted face like the original
Yes.
action figure did, right? Like that was
Mhm.
really, 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 really good. And the fact that it looked good on Earth too, right? Maybe it's a little convenient how they got there, sort of thing, and how they found him so fast. But I guess it's the track in the story.
Yeah.
But again, I still like how that came off really, really good, and how everybody's freaking out. And I just thought, like the '80s movie, just when it's on Earth, just it was weird. There's a lot of stuff happening where this was just kind of something small happening, but at the same time, there was a lot of reaction to it, right? And
Mhm.
I really liked how again, not knowing what Beastman's going to look like, just I thought it looked fantastic.
Yeah. I I was shocked at how well that they did with that. To be quite honest, right? Like, uh, I love the practical stuff, and then CGI came in. We all got warmed up to it, and it's not always good anymore. But they did a great job. He was pretty scary, right?
Yes.
To see a
No.
beast man in real life, he's scary as hell.
Well, that's exactly it. They didn't try taming him down. Like he looked savage.
Mm,
Like he looked like an out of control beast. Where, like you said, he looked scary, right? Even Skeletor, like Skeletor looked scary, right? And, that's one thing. Like I just like I just want to like I've always been a Jared Leto non-fan. Like I can't honestly say I've seen him in anything that I've liked. Um, but was I concerned with Jared Leto being Skeletor? Yes, I was. I was concerned, but I was also concerned
yeah.
with Heath Ledger when he's appointed as being the Joker, named as the Joker. Right? We all know what he did there, but like
Yes. Wow.
Jared, like this role as Skeletor, like was I thought he was so good. Every time he was on screen, I know we couldn't see his face,
Yeah.
but it's the acting. We said this before when we were watching Halloween Kills. Like how the actor was in playing Michael Myers. He just had a threatening approach, or the guy playing the Mandalorian, right? When whoever was in the costume, they
Right.
had a look about him, even though you couldn't see the face. I thought that was really good. The fact that they were animating the skull, but the voice, the actions, the mannerisms, I loved it all. And I love the
Yeah.
fact that
He stole the scene every time he
every
was in it.
every time, every
Mm,
time. And like the fact too, I like the fact like in the '80s cartoon, Skeletor would insult all his henchmen. But the 2002 series, the comic cartoon series, Skeletor is more abusive physically to his minions,
yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
I really like. And this movie, which I like the fact that they didn't tame it down. That he was pretty bad to his henchmen. Like he treated him very,
Mm,
very poorly. And I really like that. Again, for me, a villain's important, and Skeletor is somebody who is very threatening every time he's on
mhm.
screen, and somebody who, if he didn't like it, if he didn't like the results, he lashed out at people, and I just really liked that aspect to it. The fact that he's a bad guy, even though it's a kids movie, right? Because it's kind of a kids movie. I like the serious tone through it.
Yeah, I mean that's where people had said like some of the dialogue. Um, I mean, you have to take into consideration it is a kids series that they made into a movie. They're still trying to appeal to that as
Yes.
well. But I
Yeah.
think it worked with him. And Jared Leto did a great job. The voice. Now, to be honest, I think I said this when we did that last reaction to the trailer. Just from what I heard from the one or two times you hear Skeletor talk, I thought, oh, this sounds terrible. It sounded like he was talking with his teeth, kind of like
Yeah.
because he didn't have, but he wasn't. So I don't know the trailer. Maybe the sound wasn't
Again,
right, or
the trailer. Not everything's done in the trailer, right? So, it's possible. I know. The original trailer I heard, I'm going, oh, I don't like it. But when I watched the movie, I thought the voice really worked for the film. I was really concerned. What's he going to sound like? And I loved it. Like, I don't think I sometimes you see a movie and you're going, oh, I wish they did this, or I wish this could have been done different. Like, I don't feel that about Skeletor at all. Like the look, the suit, like he's wearing a muscle suit wrapped around him, right? I can imagine how uncomfortable that suit was, but how good it looked. Like the fingers, like sometimes you wear the suits and they bend the fingers, it just looks like a rubber glove on, right? But it looked so good. And then the mixture with the CGI in the face, I like even how fat sometimes the eyebrows would move and like the cheeks would move sometimes, and the skull. I thought it was a really nice touch to help show emotion and frustration, and just the eyes, how the eyes always glowed. When he blinked, the red glowing eyes went away. You're like, like you can tell he's blinking, so the red would disappear and come back, right? Although the eye sockets weren't blinking, just the eyes, the bright redness would go away, which I thought was really good. Yeah,
it's kind of hard, and like you were saying before, like with the Mandalorian or anyone like that, somehow they were able to get some kind of emotion, whoever was in the suit at the time, and it's just that the presence, and he was able to do that without, because that was the whole worry. Are they going to show his eyes? Because the actors have to be seen, you know what I mean? And it's like, I've said this a million times. I hate it. Spider-Man movie. Every once in a while, he's got to take the mask off in the middle of the fight.
All the time. I'm going like, that drives me nuts. Like, I don't need to see, like, just, that's one thing that bothers me. Batman, same thing too. They have to rip off the mask all the time too, right?
All the time. It's like the actor needs their moment. And I think the only time they did it right was in Iron Man, because they would just show inside the mask on Robert Downey Jr., which is perfect. But everyone else had to take their mask off.
But Deadpool, they never show his face.
Yes. I mean, they did well in that.
Yeah, they just use the eyebrows, right? Which was something they really fought for, right? To make sure that, I thought that, again, that's again, brave to do that, because how do you show emotion and again, not seeing real faces perfect. Apparently I saw a little clip of the director, and originally they were talking about they wanted him to have a gold mask, like Skeletor have a gold mask, like going what? And he's like no, like that would look terrible. Plus everybody would be so mad if they did that. It looks so good. Again, a little Skeletor fanboy right here, right? Like my first Master Universe character, action figure I got was Skeletor. It's my favorite toy. I still have it today, and I would be so disappointed if he didn't. Like, he looks so good. Where the fanboy in me, the little kid in me, was just thrilled to see it.
And that's what I was thinking after I watched the movie the first time. First thing I was thinking of, Todd's going to be so happy with Skeletor and what Jared Leto did.
Yes.
And well, actually, all of the villains you're going to be happy with.
Absolutely. Like I look at the villains. We had Trapjaw. Trapjaw looked amazing. Like the only criticism I have with Trapjaw, I wish he was a little bit more bulky and the body wise, but again, looks so good.
Yeah,
look at his teeth, right? It just looks so great. And then of course, Triclops. He didn't do much in it, but again, he looked good. Spikor I thought looked really good, way better than his action figure. His action figure looks terrible, but like the movie released action figure looks terrible, but he looked really good in the movie. And the fact that they brought back that 80s character, I can't remember his name, but originally they used him in the '80s movie to replace Trapjaw because they couldn't do him. So that
Oh,
kind of the guy with the gray
that's right.
face.
Yes.
They brought him in. I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't see Merman in the movie until the very end, but at least when I saw him at the end, I'm going, hey, like, do you have a shot of that, Steve? I know you
I
posted it.
think yeah. Where is it?
It's with Orko's on the screen because he was in the background of Orko. And he looks so good for just having him in the background. He looked fantastic. So I sprung that on you, but I thought as characters, I felt a little cheated. They brought back this '80s movie character. It's nice that they did. I understand why they did, but I would love to see Whiplash. Whiplash is I'm a big fan of him. Like, I think it's a little bit too early for Too Bad, but Whiplash would have been great. I thought Alison Brie as Evelyn was really good as a little bit of comic relief, but again, I really liked her as Evelyn because Evelyn's another really strong character I've always liked in Master Universe.
Yes, and actually, yeah, she did a great job. How she presented, like her voice and how she talked. And speaking of getting abused, I mean, Skeletor abused her more than anyone else.
Well, like Beastman, he was pretty bad to Beastman. When Beastman came to Earth, back from Earth, he was like, that was nice to see Beastman talk. Originally going, oh, he's not talking, but then he was groveling, and that was a great, like, just again, just showing how nasty Skeletor could be, right? Like, I thought that was like, you look at Marvel, you look at Thanos, what Thanos did to Nebula, it did terrible things to Nebula, right? But then, what he did to Beastman was pretty rough. But again, really enjoyed it. I would have loved to see, like, I'm a big fan of Clawful too, so maybe in the sequel we can see Clawful come back or something, because I'm a big fan of his too. So but Triclops nice, Trapjaw's nice. Hopefully Trapjaw, it'd be hard for bringing Trapjaw back for a sequel though.
Yeah, I don't know why they were just killing guys off left and right. Like,
he is part android, like he's part robot and part machine already, because Skeletor already tore him apart, right? That's why he's like that, right? Because Skeletor did that damage to him.
Yeah, and how they did Moss Man dirty.
Oh,
I'm so disappointed.
He's like, he's there for nothing, poor guy. And the only thing there's two things in the movie I'm always second guessing. I don't know why, of all the heroes, why they chose Mechanic. I don't know why, because he just seems like, even the kid, he just seemed like one of the more lamer heroes. Just because the next thing, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I find
he might have been a popular character. He might have been a popular. I know he's used a lot in the 2002 series, a lot.
Yeah.
He seems to be kind of one of the core. And again, it's the toy, right?
Stratos,
like back in our day, it was that. Oh, Stratos is awesome though.
Yeah, I'm surprised Stratos wasn't there, because Stratos was huge in the cartoon in the '80s, and he was one of the first original characters released, right?
Yes.
Many Faces would have been awesome too.
Oh, excellent, man. And see, and this is the thing why, when you have so many great characters to choose from, and then they pick someone like Dion, that generic plain woman who, I had to look it up in the Masters wiki or whatever, and apparently she showed up in a couple of comic strips. Remember in the newspaper? Or Masters of the Universe. She was just a plain generic.
She was in the comic book. The comic series that came out with Marvel years ago. That's where she was first introduced. Yeah.
To me, it seems like this. It seems like an executive came in and said, wow, this boys product has too many male characters in it. We need to do something about it. And they're like, I don't know, how many female heroes are there? So someone probably Googled it and went, well, we have Teela and Dion.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they did that. Instead of putting armor or some kind of like hammer hand or something on her, she's just plain person.
Yep, she's just plain person. But that's what they're doing. Okay, I get. She didn't ruin the movie. She
didn't. It was just the choice. It was like, well, first of all, at the end of the movie, when He-Man's going on to some distress call, it's where the avian people are. So that would be in a sequel. It would
Yes,
be
that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Stratos, right?
Stratos. Yeah,
So
yeah,
as
it
soon
makes
as you said
sense.
that, I'm like, oh, Stratos. Why wasn't
Yeah,
he in this movie? Manny Faces. Who else is?
because Many Faces is big in the 2002 comic cartoon series. He's in there
Yes,
lots.
he's in there. You know what? And Ram. Sorry, I need to bring this up. I got this picture ready that worked.
So
So the
Stratos even made the
2002
cover of this too, right? Like he's on Buzz Off. Yeah, okay, Buzz Off would be a lot of money, so I
was
understand
off.
that.
Yeah, the most disappointing thing to me, no
Buzz.
Orko. No
He
Orko.
was he was in the end.
He was in the end. And do you know what I think? I think the reason why he wasn't in the movie, well, it's probably for a couple reasons. It was cool to see him, but that CGI is not great.
I thought that CGI wasn't great, so I think there's probably a last minute decision to bring him in, sort of thing, and they just okay, where can we save the budget? We'll save the budget on Orko. The people are just gonna be happy to see him.
Yeah.
But you're right. I thought the same thing. That wasn't fantastic, but I think it was just kind of a gag, you know, when they were doing the laughing thing too, like you know.
I thought that was great because I
I was
actually
laughing.
found that scene.
I know, right? And that's why I love the fact that, like, I'm laughing at it so hard, and so my Aiden brought his friend, and he was laughing at it too. And Aiden's like, I don't know, like, because he doesn't never watch the cartoon show. Like, what they always do, close their eyes and do. They all lean back like that. All the animation, all the characters, the good guys, all did that, right? So the fact they're all doing it together was hilarious.
Yeah, I really liked that was great. And I noticed that right away when they were in the background all laughing and carrying on. And now I know one of the criticism, and it wore on me a little bit, was the excessive jokes, where there was a lot of jokes that didn't land, where it was just like, okay, let's just move on. Okay, like 5 Fisto jokes in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ram Man joke about give him head. Oh, and then they both it's like, okay, what is going on here? I was just
Well, again,
like,
sometimes
ridiculous.
there's sometimes there's executive people who will make suggestions that you have to do, right? And so
Yeah.
you know, again, to me, it didn't bother me. Like, you know, some land, some don't land. I've seen some movies where they're trying to be funny and it's not landing, and it really find it bad. I think I was just happy to see you wait after the bad joke. There's Skeletor. Okay, I'm back on board. You know what I'm saying? Like the one part I thought was really janky that really bothered me a lot because I don't think they really planned for it properly was when they're walking. Remember they escaped from the jail cell and they're all walking out and they're walking up to the Queen's. I think it's Queen soundtrack song. Yes.
Yeah. Right here.
It's great. It's fantastic. But they get in the smoke and they all start hacking and coughing. And then all of a sudden, the other guy, the bad guys get up and go, and they're just fighting. And it's like, so they kind of ignored, like, I didn't know if they're being poisoned. It was so extreme, them coughing and hacking. And all of a sudden, then they're fighting right away. We're just kind of, to me, that was very janky. I think somebody said, what if we're all coughing because of the smoke? And they, oh, yeah, let's do it. But they didn't plan for the wide shot, how the fight started. It just seemed really, I call it janky.
Was it supposed to be Stinkor? Was it supposed to be Stinkor?
Well, dude, that would have made sense, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just weird that, again, I was laughing at it, but then when that guys turn and then they start fighting and they're not hacking they weren't even hacking. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It just made it clunky.
I think the problem is, from what I understand, there's like 6 writers, right? And this is almost a decade in a process. And each writer had a different view and thought. And you could kind of tell because it's like there's times in the movie where it was serious and then it was undercut by some kind of a joke, whether it landed or not. And then there was this, like, I always found that He-Man or Adam, whatever, never got a full chance, like, to kind of shine long. It was like that first time he turns into He-Man, you're like, oh, and 2 seconds later, gag. And then, a fight, 2 seconds later, gag. They didn't let the action or those moments breathe a little longer. And it just seemed like it was all these different writers who some liked the lore, some thought it was, kind of silly. And it seemed that was some of the problems, for me, where some things just weren't meshing together. It was like different writers, and you could tell piecing together a movie. And the only thing that if I could go back in time and convince them not to do, was how the name He-Man came about, or even all of their names, where they're like, what, Ram Man, that's not my name. Fisto, that's not my name. Like, and then He-Man, then they're like making fun of him because he's like, you know what I mean? Because He-Man was kind of the name of the champion, because before He-Man there was Hero,
Yeah.
and then like all these different people. So
Yeah.
it wasn't him choosing it. It was Grayskull. It was like the sorceress said, "You are He-Man."
Yeah.
Or like before that, it was, "You are Hero," or "You are whoever."
Yeah.
And I thought it kind of was dumb. To me, it was kind of a dumb choice. It was like the same thing as they for the Han Solo movie, or like, sorry, the Han Solo movie, where they're like, "What's your name?" Just say your name is Han Solo. His family name is Solo, but they had to have some gag like, "Oh, I don't have any people," and then the Empire guy goes, "Solo, you're Solo." It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I see what you're saying. For like, I must have been like, when he came going, "You're Ram Man." It's like, who's that? Like, I'm going, oh, okay. Well, I see. I saw what they're doing. Okay. I didn't hate it, but at the same time, because again, one thing everybody knew Adam was He-Man, right? Again, and when he became He-Man, he wasn't somebody different. Like, in the cartoons, when he becomes He-Man, he's still Adam, but he's not Adam. He's He-Man, right? Like, he even acts, his personality traits are different, right? Where his personality traits weren't different from being Adam, right? So I hear what you're saying for sure. That's something they did differently from canon, right? But again, I didn't hate it.
Make a decision. Yeah. It's like, are you going to embrace the campiness, or are you not going to embrace the campiness, right? So because we all know it's silly because it was a kid's cartoon. And so just go with it. Just embrace it. Go with it, right? Because you go from like this really normal world, which is Earth, and then he gets to Eternia. It should be like, because when he was bragging to his date about his where he's from, I thought that was kind of funny. I couldn't believe he was telling his date that he was from another planet and all these things. That was hilarious.
That was like, hilarious. Yes.
All I was doing, I leaned to Jeremy. I'm like, she should run.
And she did.
I would, if my daughter came over and said, "Yeah, my date said he was from another planet." I'm like,
Eternia. He had a talking green cat, and
all this kind of stuff. And that's the only thing. I was like, just embrace it. And I think it would have had a better reception, because at least it was consistent. And
I thought it was I thought they stuck to the campiness all the way through the film. I don't feel like it changed at all. Adam was a bit of a joke, and even as He-Man, he was a bit of a joke. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think if they're going to do it properly, they would have to get a different act. Like, I like the 2002 cartoon series, because Prince Adam is small, really small, and then becomes He-Man is huge, right? So they would have to have a totally different actor for that, right?
Well, he's supposed to be a teenager, and they did that well in 2002.
Yes, but the original 80s cartoon, He-Man is Prince Adam. The face doesn't change at all. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's because of the toy, right? It's because they were trying to save money on the model. Like,
exactly, why change? Exactly, right? Just painted a different color, right? So the biggest scam ever is Fake-Or. Right? Like, just painted blue, like, or metallic blue. Like, at first when Fake-Or came out, I said, "This is stupid." But then when I got it, like, maybe that's the greatest idea of all time. And then, of course, then years later they come with anti-He-Man. Again, let's just paint him black and give him red eyes, and now he's anti-He-Man, right? So it's kind of
it's genius.
You don't have to make anything. You just paint it, boom, right?
And that was the thing also at the end, when they're all ha, 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 and laughing and stuff, and that was funny. And he's Adam, and then it's like, oh, there's trouble at this other place, and he's like, oh, it's gotta go, Cringer, and okay, we gotta go. And they're like, does he think we forgot? And I thought that was dumb. I thought, what I wish that when they did this, that he no more secret identity. I mean, they kind of made a joke about the whole thing. I get that.
Yeah.
But I remember my wife telling me she works in child youth and all that kind of stuff. And in recent times, like back in our day, everything was like, oh, it's a secret from your parents, or it's a secret this and a secret that. And it was cool for us, right? Because then we had some kind of control. That was the whole I have the power, right? They were putting the power into the kids' hands, not their parents or their teachers. And that's what really got boys happy and excited for. But they don't want to encourage kids to keep secrets at all because of, maybe abuse happening. And when someone says it's a secret, we don't want them to learn that. So, I understand, why they would do that. But I just wish that when he became, from Adam to He-Man, that he was like permanently changed. Because it seems like, spoiler, in one of the cutscenes, it seems like it's probably not going to happen anymore. But She-Ra, it sounds like she's going to be permanently like that. Because you remember in the scene, someone comes up and says, Force Captain Adora.
Yeah.
And she goes, not anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and the thing that bothers me about that is, damn well they're not going to make her a goof, idiot, moron through an entire movie. I mean, it's not going to happen anyways. I don't think they're going to spend the money on that. I understand Amazon might be trying to get a Gem series going.
Gem and the Holograms?
Gem and the Holograms.
That movie flopped so hard.
So I was watching where people were talking like Amazon just bought up a whole bunch of properties and He-Man was part of that. And they're like, okay, we'll make a He-Man movie. But they really wanted to get into Gem and like G.I. Joe. They really want to do G.I. Joe and Transformers probably. But yeah, Gem's going to be very, very modern. It's not going to be like the movie that they did, in the early 2000s? I'm not sure.
Well, the movie I think just came out probably in the last 6 years.
It was what's her name? She was in the American Pie movies. Wasn't that pretty old? Or am I thinking Josie and the Pussycats?
You're thinking Josie and the Pussycats. That came out in the early 2000s. Right. Gem and the Holograms just came out probably in the last, I would say, 6 years. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm searching up here.
Yeah, I'm thinking. So here, I'll just show this. I know we're jumping ahead, but I thought this looked really, really good. This was
absolutely
the scenes there, and it's funny. So here's I guess you could call her the stand-in actress, right? If they made it, she's probably not going to be. But here's the thing. This is what I understand. She posted this before the movie on her Instagram. She was pretty excited to play this. So talk about a leak.
No kidding.
Ow.
Well, at least it's just the cutscene at the end. And I like how they did it. Actually, did it quite exactly like how they showed Thanos at the end of the Avengers movie. He got it's like courting death, and he turned around and just saw the side of his profile face, so you don't have to establish who the actors is. Because they did the same thing for her. She just turned around. It's she, so they did that so they can but pick an actress for the role, right? So
yeah. Now, and so let me, seeing that I'm wearing the shirt, I was showing Todd this. I got this yesterday. It finally came in. I got it from TeePublic from someplace. Maybe I'll put it in the description box where I got it. But I love this shirt. I wore it to the gym yesterday, like a dork that I am. It's funny. I was telling Todd before we went live, I wear all these dork shirts to the gym. Like I have a Batman one, I have a Transformers one, I have a G.I. Joe one, and I just wear that and I don't care. So I think this is borderline. It's like wearing a Superman S to the gym. Like you have to have giant balls and be able to lift a lot of weight to do that. And I don't know if I'm pushing this.
Yeah, He-Man, Superman, those are two ones you have to do a little bit hectic. But the good thing is, you're making your wife feel safe because no woman's going to approach you wearing all the geek apparel, right? So you're safe.
Said that. I'm like who's going to come near me? The only people are like dudes going, "Oh, I love your shirt, man."
Yeah, and the ladies going like, "Hey," you're like, "I like He-Man." Bye. I sent my wife something on Facebook the other day, like, a wife, she's there talking like, am I worried about my husband cheating on me? And it cuts to him in his big den of these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's polishing his toys. He's just, nope, not worried about him at
No,
all.
that is so funny. That's so. What did you think of? I'll say the one missed opportunity that really I wish they did was when he first transformed. They could have re-recorded it. They didn't have to use the 80s thing, He-Man,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Because that seemed more powerful. Because at the very end of the movie, when him and Cringer or him and Battle Cat are rushing off to help whoever, then they play it at the very end of the movie, and that's powerful. And they do the slow motion even where he's on the cat, so because I'm sure this is what it would look like.
Exactly. But you're right, Steve. Like, one thing, even though you look at the 2002 series, the transformation of Adam to He-Man is not as good as the 80s cartoon. Like, the whole sound, like, they're like, I have, like, that. It's so iconic. Nothing. The 2000 series is so lame. 2002 series is so lame's a strong word, but it's so weak compared to that 80s. And then when this happens, again, it looks fantastic, but the whole I have the power stuff just does not really hit like the 80s cartoon. When the I have the power line is so huge, right?
And the actor's voice, though, too.
Yeah.
Like the original actor, I guess he just had I don't know what his background was, but they really made it work. And it was just like there's so much going on,
It's the sound, like you said. It's the music. That music too, He-Man, like the whole time so perfectly, right? And obviously, they didn't do the movie because they haven't established that his name is He-Man yet, right? So, again,
and that's the thing too. It's like they didn't want to. This is where I think where they thought that it was kind of silly, right? Where the writers are like, "This He-Man thing is silly," and like the name. So they just kept calling him the champion of Grayskull, the champion of Grayskull. And then it was Dork Adam at the end saying, oh, well, I, in my fantasy world, thinking back to this, I was He-Man, right? Because then he was saying, well, I called you this and I called you that. Yeah. And then they kind of made fun of him, He-Man, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's only when they played that music, because I think they thought it was silly and they didn't want to kind of play on that. But that is the show, like you said. It's like that whole feeling. Even watching the 2002 the cutscenes, where they either have Skeletor or He-Man, like or He-Man, the sword will come in and then it goes to the next scene. In the original series, they did that. That's all I was doing when I got this shirt and I'm going to the gym. In my head, all I hear is He-Man, like a dork.
No, exactly. I've been writing for a couple of years a short film called Toy Recall, and basically it's all the toys come to life, and He-Man comes up, and he's like in my script he's a dumb jock. He's a really small brains with big muscles, but he's lifting up the Millennium Falcon, and it's going, and then it's going to have He-Man, because of course when he's lifting it has to say He-Man, right? Because it's a passage of power, right? When you hear that phrase from the 80s cartoon, it's always, that means, oh, he's strong now. And I agree, Steve. Like, again, not that I didn't like what they did with it, but again, the fact that they made fun of itself all the way through was very consistent, so I didn't mind it so much. That's the direction they went in. But again, I would have loved to see it that He-Man was this, again, like you said, like appointed by the sorceress. You are He-Man, blah blah blah. That makes that
because she said what his name was. And you know what? One of the writers on this team was one of the writers for the Barbie movie. And I watched the Barbie movie with my oldest. They did a great job in that. Why they did a great job is, well, Barbie, she was a toy, right? Like she was an actual toy, sort of come to life. Everything they did was so cute. How she's in a shower, but there's no water, because that's like the Barbie dream house. She's drinking, but there's nothing coming out. I thought it was great. And all the stuff they did for the nostalgia, they were doing it for the nostalgia, and everything was uplifting the memory of Barbie and these young girls with the toys. It wasn't at the expense of, at any time ever in the movie, even when she was in the real world. and people were like acting like, why are you dressed that way, or why are you this? It still wasn't at the expense of Barbie, because they still made her like when I was watching it, I was thinking, well, those people are jerks. Like, I don't understand. Some of the outfits for sure, especially Ken. Ryan Gosling was so good in that movie; it was amazing. Um, I think that if they would have had the exact same treatment for the campiness of, say, He-Man, because I mean Barbie was like astronaut and this and this and that. You could make the same claim that it's silly and stuff if they would have had the same focus. And like I said, I really like the movie. I saw it twice in theater, and I'll probably, if there's a DVD or a Blu-ray that comes out, I'll probably buy that for sure. But I just think that it would have been more satisfying to a lot of people if they kind of took it a little more serious. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no,
He-Man, this is the hero. The sorceress should have said, "You are He-Man now.
yeah,
That's who
no,
you are."
it's definitely a direction that I would have appreciated too. Again, I don't mind what they did. I was entertained by the movie. I
Yeah.
like the fact because they're poking fun of themselves, but they didn't like. So again, they were having fun with the movie, but at the same time, add a lot of grittiness to the film. But I thought it was consistent all the way through, so I was okay with it sort of thing. But again, do missed opportunities? Yes, absolutely, for sure. Again, you can say that why
Yeah.
Mechanic. I think it's a miss. And the next find is it seems so silly when you see the neck come around, flapping people around like someone's.
Yeah. He never did
Just
that in the original cartoon. I never thought of that. I thought that would be a good weapon, I guess, because
well, I guess except
in
for
the original he just looks up.
he looks up. He has binocular vision, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
eyes were like that. Like so now he's smashing his head. Wouldn't it break his binoculars? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. That's all. Again, not my favorite
Yeah.
character in the series. So like
Do you know
Mossman.
Mossman.
Mossman, I think you could play with Mossman a bit more, but maybe it was too expensive. Although if you're doing CGI,
Poor
Mossman gets. But again, he can come back. He'll go in the ground and grow back again and be fine. He's fine.
That's what I think that they could do. Do you know who I loved? And one of my favorite characters was Man at Arms. And I always like Idris Elba. I always kind of like, people would say like, oh, who would be a strong character for this role and stuff. And I always bring him up. And I feel bad. Like, I wish they would have allowed him to just talk with his own accent. You know what I mean? In the movie, because I mean they changed him already, so why not just let him? I always say this. I'm like, just let Idris Elba talk, but he always has an American accent in movies, right? But I said it in my review that I posted on the website. I think out of the movie, he had the best fight scene against Trapjaw at the very beginning of the movie.
So
out
good.
of the entire movie, I thought it was choreographed and intense and cut and edited so perfectly together. Badass. He was so badass.
Yeah. I even like the results that came after the fight, right? Like, Duncan was always positive and always, like pick yourself back up, like what a great character development in that storyline. The fact that all of a sudden now he wasn't able to pick himself back up after that, right? Because everything was his fault. Like he couldn't stop. He couldn't save the king. He couldn't save the queen. So that was kind of neat. The fact that he had the big, huge character arc in the film, right? So I liked how they did that with him. They had a little bit of redemption for him. Failing in the beginning and then coming out at the end of the movie, right? It was good.
I like the training scene where he's training all the kids.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he was, again, the whole warrior centric thing where he's like, okay, everyone grab a stick. I want to see bruises. I want to see nose bleeding. I want you. And that's just off to the side while the kids are grabbing the sticks. And I was laughing. I'm like, yes, I want to see that too.
That was really good. Great. Well, even like the part when Adam fell down, right? And then and his father's walking away. So just get up, look stoic. He's going to turn around. He's going to turn around. And he never did, right? It's like, oh, well, okay. let's go back to work, right? So there's a kind of neat little moment there, right, where it's building up, the disappointment Adam has, right? Which I thought brought up a good emotional point in the movie when, spoilers, when King Randor's not doing so well at the end of the movie. They had that little touch, that little emotional, spark sort of thing, right? Which I thought
Yeah.
it landed pretty good for me. So I felt it sort of thing in the feels.
I did love that little speech he gave me when Randor's walking away and he rolls over. He goes, "Adam, get up, get up!" And he was just like trying to save face for Adam. And he's like, I loved what he said to him, and I really listened to it the second time I watched the movie. It really hit me. I thought where he was telling him, get up, show him you're strong. You can do this. Like it really hit hard. I loved it. And then when he didn't, and then Man at Arms face, like he was just trying to, he's like, okay, walk it off, trying to be that tough
so
mentor.
it's okay. Yeah. Again, a nice little touch in the movie for sure. Yeah, and I thought like we should give props to the costume department too, right? Because everybody looked fantastic.
Oh,
like the suits, the outfits, the designs, right down to every single character, I thought looked really, really good.
Yeah, they did a great job, and I see the point too. Like I thought Trapjaw was a little thin.
Again, you look at the action figures; he's really big and bulky, right? So again, I like to see again. He looked amazing. On a scale of 100%, I'd give him a strong 97%. If he's bulky, I'd give him 100. Right? Like, again, not disappointed whatsoever. I thought every time he's Trapjaw on every time he's on the screen, I went Trapjaw, like every time. I'm sure annoying my son because every time I saw him, I was like Trapjaw because he's of all the characters, besides Skeletor, he's my favorite, right? But I just remember being mesmerized by Skeletor every time he was on. Like even like the one time he's cackling, ha ha ha, and then it just kept going on and it stopped, and he got all mad at Evil Lynn because you're supposed to move on, let me, this is my moment, sort of thing.
That was my crescendo.
My crescendo, that's what it was. It was a crescendo. Yeah. Like and you're still standing around watching, like you're supposed to leave.
It's so perfect. It's so it was so well done. Yeah, without Trapjaw, I only realized. When you see him on screen and what he was doing, his presence was awesome. The only time I thought, oh, wow, he's thin or thinner than I thought was in still photographs when you have a lot of time to look.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. It didn't take anything away because he was still, it was only in recent times I realized Skeletor did that to him because Trapjaw tried to take over everything and fought against Skeletor before. And he did all this stuff to him, took his arm and
I think his name was Kronos or something, wasn't it before? Yeah, there's actually if you look at the Origins series line that came out, you can actually get Skeletor and Trapjaw before their transformations. When it was Keldor, Keldor, and I think it's Kronos. I think his name was. So you have him, and then of course Kronos.
That's a great story. I love that.
Absolutely.
Like you're saying, Skeletor being so mean and terrible, he should be doing this,
right? And like he's cruel to everyone. All his henchmen are afraid of him, right? They don't want to petrified. Like even Evil Lynn, who's probably the next in line, she's always worried. She knows him probably better than anybody else, and she just she fears him. Like she really does.
But at the same time, there's some kind of loyalty because
absolutely.
Spoilers again, the very, very last end credit scene after Skeletor is killed, she comes back, takes his skull, and she obviously brings him back somehow.
She will.
Why would she do that? Right. So I think there was always this thing between Skeletor and Evil Lynn where she was always kind of conniving. She wasn't always loyal, but then she was. And then she also feared him. So that's how much control Skeletor has. And I love it. I love the fact that no matter how he treats them, these people aren't going to mess around with him.
And my son was kept asking, so does Evil Lynn love Skeletor? I said, well, I think in a way, I think obviously Skeletor is probably a mentor to her, right? Like Skeletor was to Hordak, spoilers, Hordak was the one that trained Skeletor. But well, we'll see what happens in this kind of continuity sort of thing. But obviously, I think she looks off of him, learns off of him, right? So I think she believes that he's the path to power for her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And that's consistent through the original to the 2002. Whatever. It's consistent with that.
And
kind of
she's not an
story.
idiot. And in the 80s series, the 2002 series, she's never an idiot. You know what I'm saying? She's always the one that gets the most respect from Skeletor, probably, right? Because everybody else like bumbling
Mhm.
fools, where she's always got some. She always handles herself with dignity and with has a more of a leadership role, probably. I would say.
Oh, definitely. She's the only other person besides Skeletor that's
Yeah.
insulting the
Yes.
other
Exactly. Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
everybody, I think all the other people fear her too, because she can be quite nasty herself, right? So
She's really powerful. She would be
yeah.
definitely next in line after
Oh,
him.
absolutely.
And I was just watching the 2002 series, season 2, where spoilers, people should go watch that anyways. She betrays Skeletor to the Snake Men, and he catches her, and he's got her over top of this pit where he's going to just kind of feed her to this monster. And she's begging for her life, and then He-Man saves her, and she still goes back to Skeletor and says, "Look, I am sorry, and you trained me, and you always, it was kind of funny." And he just goes, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then they
even
went
like
on.
the Netflix series that Kevin Smith wrote, right, with Revelations, right, where Evil Lynn helped Skeletor attain this power, right, became Skelegod, and she's like, okay, we got to stop him, like to the point where he's like, he's too bad, right? So she helped He-Man. She pretends she's in love, and there was even a makeout scene with Skeletor in there. Like she asked, I don't know if you saw it, but you remember she asked, like, you're too strong, too powerful right now. Become normal, Skeletor, and they had a little makeout session, and then that's how they like.
Yeah, I never watched
Oh,
that series. I never did.
it's really good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I know you had your issues with it, but I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was He-Man show without He-Man in it.
Well, He-Man was in it.
He was in it for the first episode, and then
No,
the second season,
no,
because he gets not killed but transported out or something in the
well,
first
he does
episode.
die. He kind of sacrifices himself, yes, and so that's where he goes and meets all the former chosen ones for Castle Grayskull up in the heaven. It's not called heaven, but it's called something else, where he meets all the past heroes, and so
Oh,
yeah,
like,
they
yeah,
figure,
the
yeah,
heroes.
yeah, yeah.
So, what did you think of the actor that played He-Man, or Adam, and then He-Man?
I thought he was fine. For the approach they did to have a little more poke fun at it, I thought he did a really
Mhm.
good job. He was entertaining. I thought he did a good job. Um, I didn't feel like he was, like he felt, I don't know, he felt like a good choice. Like for
Mhm.
that
Sure.
type of character, that type of role. Even like I guess we talk about Trap Drop being a little bit skinny. Was he again buff? But is he
Yeah.
buff enough for He-Man? I don't know. It'd be hard to get an actor who can act and be
The
buffed
only
out like that,
person you could get nowadays would have to be The Rock playing every muscle role,
right?
or Jason Momoa's. Like, there's nothing you can do. There's only
Yeah,
so much steroids these actors can take.
right. And pull out. Well, Chris Hemsworth, even like
Chris
as
Hemsworth.
like he was pretty big in some of the Thor movies. He was pretty massive. But again, I think he's tired. He's getting older too, right? So like
Yeah,
even Dave Bautista, we didn't want to
he's
do
older.
Drax anymore because he's slimmed down lots. Batista did.
Yeah, yes. It's got to
Like
be
he's
hard because whenever Hemsworth would do Thor, and the dreaded scene for him having to be without a shirt was a
mhm.
whole process, because like, you don't normally look that way until you dehydrate yourself so that all the water leaves your body, and you're hungry, and you're thirsty, and you're miserable, and you're filming for 16 hours.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks it's great, but it's like hell to do a 5-10 minute scene without your shirt on. It's the worst experience ever. That's why he suggested the fat suit, because he was like, oh, it'd be funny, but he just didn't want to go through that crap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Have to
No,
go through hell.
I mean, it makes total sense. Although for the not Ragnarok, sorry, the last one was Love and Thunder. He was pretty beefy
Yes.
in that too.
Oh,
Like
he was crazy.
it was huge in that one.
He was huge, and all natural. He
Yeah,
just
the
got a
Hollywood
trainer and ate lots of chicken.
ate lots of chicken. But yeah, but again, back to He-Man. I think, I thought all the choices of actors did a really good
Mhm.
job. Idris Elba is a great actor, and again, he bought into the role, pulled it off. Again, the biggest surprise is Jared Leto, right?
Oh,
He's been the kicking boy in Hollywood for
he
so
wins.
long, doing big
Yeah,
IPs, and he just
yeah.
constantly being kicked around. Again, what he did for the Joker, I thought was fine. Again, the movie's terrible, the
Yeah,
Suicide Squad,
yeah.
but his again, is it my favorite rendition of the Joker? No, but what he did with it, I thought was very entertaining. I would love to see
Mhm.
him be the main villain in that movie, but Morbius, Sony doesn't even try in their movies, so it's unfortunate. But again, being concerned about Jared Leto being Skeletor, I am so relieved about that performance. So Ram Man, Fisto, they all worked fine. No complaint. I thought the
Mhm.
lady playing Tila was good. Um, I wish I knew their names, but I
Yes,
don't.
yes. Well, because
Again,
we're casual fans.
we're casual fans, exactly, right? Again, the only I just maybe wish it wasn't the '80s villain that they brought back for the movie. Maybe not Mechanic. Those are my big things right there, and the coughing scene. The coughing scene was just janky. Those are my big takeaways. Again, the nicknames. I would have loved to have seen Adam and He-Man become He-Man, and he's a different person. But again, I think that's hard to pull
Right.
off when you're using the same actor. But
Yeah. I mean,
it's
if
hard
they
to,
did it that way for the 2002, or even if they were inspired by the 80s, they're not selling a toy and saving
yeah,
money on the model. They could have just, had a teenager, and then he becomes um the actor that played He-Man. Even they could go along with that, where he's, as big as they can get this guy. But
yeah,
I mean, he transformed 2 or 3 times. It'd be a limited role for that actor. But
yeah.
um
That's why I think they made a
yeah.
choice. How are they going to do this sort of thing? They got this one
Mhm.
actor. They don't want to make him look totally different. Even though it's hard to make him not look so big, because even when he's
I
wearing these big
know.
puffy shirts on, he's still ripped. You can see he looks actually bigger in shirts than he does without shirts.
I know. It was funny, especially when they were trying to make him look like a dork in the gym with that
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren scene, and he's
yeah.
got the kitty cat sweater, and you're like, that dude is jacked. Give
He's
me a break.
jacked. Like I said, he looked bigger with shirts on. Oh, we didn't even talk about one of my favorite parts of the movie was when He-Man was dying, and he's going all these flashbacks on Earth, and Skeletor shows up. I'm sorry, that was amazing. Yes, thank you. Look how good he looks. My son
That was
thought this
so
was
good.
my son thought this was so good, especially the Office one. He thought the tie didn't match because it's like polka dot tie over when you have striped shirt. He thought it was hilarious, and he thought it was so good. And again, it
They
looks
did a good
so
job.
weird, but it just looks so good that he just showed up and he's being the snot of him, thrown through walls, and then he shows up in the office. The office scene I thought looks. He just shows up in the suit and tie was so good.
That was good. And Skeletor in the office smacks Daryl. Did you notice that?
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about it. Yeah, yeah.
Daryl. That's his name, right? The guy that he hates.
I
The guy
think
that
so.
complained
Yes.
about Adam or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
swords.
He was scared of him. That's so
That's so
funny.
funny. It's so funny. I felt so when he was getting when Adam was getting in trouble with the HR manager about his swords and everything. I just loved how she did that all. Um, I'm thinking to myself, man, there's sometimes when it's quiet at work, I'm looking at swords online. Give me a break. I would have one of these swords if I could. My boss at work is like, oh yeah, you should do that. I'm like, I'll bring one of these swords and just stick it over my cubicle desk. And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm like, you say
Ah,
that, but they wouldn't. They would not be happy with these metal swords and stuff. But I could bring
bro,
in
the
my
plastic power sword, possibly. Yes, you'd be fine. Is that what you bought a store, or is that like a 3D printed one?
no, I bought this at Wally Mart.
Walmart. Oh yes.
Wait, how does it work again? Look at this. I feel like an old man now.
Oh, it lights up too. You have the power.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, wow. I know. I'm yeah. I'm just trying to think of a funny joke. Yeah, this is. Oh, oops, sorry.
Oh, oh,
Let me turn it off. But it's yeah. I dorked out and got this. So, but yeah, I yeah I sorry I was losing all the Skeletor parts. Those were like the top parts of the movie. Like it's crazy that Jared Leto didn't even like fight to have his face shown or this or that or like a let's do a Keldar background where you can see my face. None of that. He just went with it. He did all the campy lines, all like this scene. It's the best,
oh,
you
absolutely.
know.
They said. I heard that on set he would actually cover his face in fake blood, so his face is all red.
I've seen pictures. They were showing
Yeah,
the director showed pictures
yeah, that's what
and he looked
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, exactly. So he did something to make so people like look at him like, okay, want to make it unsettling, right? So again, good for him. He didn't have to do that, but he did it because he wants to, make people feel
Mhm.
uneasy around him, which again, great for him, right? Like, again, I thought it really, really worked well. I'm sure actors are actors and they can act scared or uncomfortable, but again, he's going the extra mile and he's putting his foot into it. Like you said, he he didn't see his face, right? And
Mhm.
so that's fantastic. Like I think that's I didn't want like maybe a backstory of Caldor, fine, but again, the fact that we didn't see his face is great. Like the 2002 series is really good. He
Yes.
shows Caldor, and then he gets the stuff spilt on him. And he becomes oh right. He tried to do it casting a spell, and it came back and hit him. That's what it
Yeah, he
was.
was
And
trying to do it to what turns out to be his brother,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Randor.
yeah. And then it comes back and
So,
gets him, and he's like in pain, and the Beast Man has to take
and
him off. And
Evelyn helps him. Well, she brings him to this place and helps with the magic to save him, but
yeah,
then it does make his face like that. So there you
yeah.
go, Evelyn again, right?
She's an iconic character, right? A little Evelyn here, and yeah,
Exactly. And you know what? I have to point this out too. So Todd and I, if people didn't know this, we grew up together. We were what, 5 or 6 when we knew each other.
yeah, 5.
It always worked out because you always liked the bad guys and I always liked the good guys. So there was no fighting over Luke Skywalker or Darth
Nope,
Vader. There was no fighting over Skeletor or He-Man.
nope.
It was just like it just seemed to work,
Well, just
where
I just like, I guess the bad guys just look so good. So like just and yet, like I said, the Master Universe characters are just like yeah, look at this, look at this, look how good that is,
like
right?
even let me hang on a second. Yeah, they did a great job with some of them. Like I'm not thrilled about the He-Man one, but he looks amazing.
Right, like you can see right here in the wall, right where is it? Right there's Trapjaw on the wall, the originals
The
one, right?
originals,
So
yeah.
yeah, so again, but it looks so he looks really big and chunky here too, which I like a lot, right? So again, villains look so good. Trapjaw looks so good. Again, like I'm hoping that there'll be a release of Whiplash. You know what I found out today, Steve? I
Oh
don't know if
yeah.
you know this. Whiplash, you know who Whiplash is, right? Whiplash,
Yeah, yeah. The
the
little
lizard guy, right?
lizard guy looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's the only action figure from the toy line that was invented. It was created on the show first. The animated series created Whiplash first, and then it released as a toy.
Oh,
I found that out
okay.
today. I saw a little video, guys, going over all the figures and how their origins or how they became to
Isn't
be.
that
And
interesting?
then, yeah, he's the first one that was designed for the cartoon first, and then they made him an action figure. Did not know
Wow,
that.
okay. And the He-Man line was the toy line that actually knocked Barbie off first place for a while.
Yes, right.
So even Star Wars didn't do that, which I was shocked about. I thought Star Wars blew everything up, but it was He-Man that took over first place for a while, anyways, with
For a while,
Barbie.
yeah.
So, and Fisto, he's the brother of Man at Arms. So that's who in the original and in 2002 Fisto is brothers to Man at Arms. I think
I don't remember that
is
storyline.
he's younger, older. Anyways, and it's interesting because in the 2002 series, I just watched this episode where it was talking about because it turns out, another spoiler, Tila is the daughter of sorceress, but she couldn't keep her around or something because she's going to be the sorceress. So she had Man at Arms become her adoptive father. But then she tells the story of how she became that. She needed a break from the castle. She goes to this village. She helps this village out that's being, bullied by these bad guys. But she comes across this wounded Eternian soldier, and he's all patched up. And then they have a child, but he goes back and she makes him forget. And then, so here's the thing, they don't say it, but it's Man at Arms. But so what she says is, why did she choose him to be her adoptive father? Because she's the real father, he's the real father. But then I was reading online, they're saying that could also be Fisto. Because Fisto is a soldier, used to be a soldier like him.
Also red hair. Tila has red hair too.
And if you look at the 2002 cartoon, he's all bandaged up and his one arm is in a sling. The one that now has, at least in the cartoon, that permanent glove on his hand, because that's how they did
which is much bigger than it is in the movie, for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, it's getting to the point where I have to wrap things up here soon. But again, overall, movie, what would you rate it as out of 10? I know you texted me right out of the theater on the first night, Friday, and you said it's awesome, right? So you seem really pleased about it, and you had a chance to think about it a bit more. And what do you give it out of 10?
I would give it an honest 8 out of 10. Definitely. The only thing is, I thought it was a little too long. And just my nitpicky things, but it was an 8 out of 10. It was a blast. I saw it twice. I'm going to buy the Blu-ray or whatever it is. I'm buying all the dork
merch
stuff. So.
Yeah. Like I went to our local toy stores, and I was like, I really want the Skeletor figure, right? I was able to find this. They're releasing a different toy line. So there's the half size figure. So this is not the 7-inch one. It's like in between 3.5 and 7. So it's not the full size one. But again, I picked up this Skeletor because they have not released. They have not released. It doesn't get released until this month. The Skeletor version from the movie and this size. So you can see the size difference. They're much different, right? So I found this one, so I picked this one up. I was looking for Skeletor, but again, I went both toy stores I went to. We were talking about, people aren't interested in the movie or not as much as we want it to be, but the toy line, somebody's buying up all the toy lines because there's only Trapjaw left, and there's only a couple left, and everything. I sent you a picture, remember, Steve, from my Walmart.
Yeah.
Everything's picked clean. Like, so somebody's enjoying these action figures because the whole entire display shelf is picked clean.
The He-Man people, whether they love it or hate it, they still buy the product. That's what it seems like to me. So
for me, Master Universe was far from being a perfect movie. I've seen a lot better, more tightly knit movies. But again, I give it 8 out of 10 too, because just how much I enjoyed it. Just happy it didn't suck. It was good. We were worried. Were we not worried? Yeah. Like how many movies that come out and they're just terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like there's how many video game movies that come out. This is based off a toy line. Like there's some movies that just don't work. And we were worried. I'm happy it didn't. I give it 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed it lots. My wife wants to go see it, so I'm planning to go see it again too because I like to have a second look at it myself because I really enjoyed it.
My wife would rather kill me than go see that movie.
Well, at least she's honest, Steve. At least she's honest. We planned to go without my wife because I had no idea she wanted to see it, and she said, "Oh, I want to see it." So I went, "Oh, well, I should go on a date night this week and go take her to it."
Very, very cool. Yeah, no, I like it. I'm very, very happy they didn't kill it, but box office results of 64 million worldwide is probably killed it.
Well, we'll see. It was number 2 was it number 2 or number 1 at the box office last week? Do you know? I
It
was
was
checking right
two. It
now.
was under scary movie, I believe.
Oh yeah, scary. Like the trailers for that look so bad. But
You know what? Scary movie. People are saying it's not funny, it's bad, but they're going to it, right? Because young people will go see a comedy or a horror movie. But again, like, are we old? Is He-Man a niche now?
like you said, I don't know. But yeah, it was number 2, beat back rooms. So it.
Well, good for independent guy that spent $750,000 on a movie Obsession, which I
Oh,
haven't seen yet.
Obsession.
I want to see, and
Oh,
it's like
I've
what, a
seen it.
hundred and some odd million?
I've seen it. So good. So
Yeah.
so good. Like I've been following those guys, their YouTube channel for years. That's a bad idea. It's
Yes,
called. And they're
they're
usually, it's all comedy, but everyone's very uncomfortable. This movie is Obsession, so uncomfortable, but
yeah.
so good. But my coworker went to go see it last night, so it's on week 3. He went last night, sold out.
Still,
Went to
wow.
a 10 o'clock show, sold out. They couldn't get tickets. They're going tonight, and the show's almost sold out again. They're going to a late show tonight. So like the
Wow.
fact that it's like it's doing really really well. But again, it's really, if you don't have a chance to see it, you should go see Obsession. It's really good. And Master Universe, must see that too.
Master Universe, yeah. Okay, well, with that, I mean, we're both really happy with the movie. We should get going. Oh, geez, before we go,
Oh,
I have to show this.
that's
I
so
have the
good.
power, Dottie.
That's so
I found
good.
this somewhere online. That's so good. Anyways, Herman. Anyways, okay. I wanted to give you that last laugh before we went off, but thanks for
Well,
everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Todd, for talking about He-Man. Again, it feels like we were kids again playing with our He-Man action figures, not
it's an
toys.
action figure, not dolls. Come on.
Yes, exactly. So everyone, go see the movie. You have to go see this movie
Have to.
and give it a little more money, and you never know what
Exactly.
Amazon will do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Casual fan.